I'm a member of Mount Pleasant, and this is a church that I've been a member of since I joined church back in the early age, and that was to when it was the old church. It was a wooden church then, in which they built around and etc.
Who was the pastor when you joined?
When I joined, it was Reverend Smith. I can't remember Reverend Smith's first name, but that's who baptized me. And we didn't have a pool in the church at the time. We had to march down the hill to the bottom down there in front of Barrow's Rental, which they had a branch there, and they had built a pool there, and water would run in. And from that's where I was baptized. And I am a deacon at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church.
Who followed Reverend Smith?
I can't per se. It may have been Reverend Levi Moore. And then from that you have Reverend Mosley. And Reverend Mosley been there 38 years.
38 years.
So you can. There hadn't been too many preachers in between there.
Right.
So I'm sure maybe one or two others somewhere, but those I do remember.
All right. I think I pretty much covered everything that I had on my list. Talk about a little bit of everything, I believe. Is there anything else you'd like to add? One question I like to ask folks is, how do you want your family and to remember you, and how you want the community to remember you?
Okay, I look at what I do, and I try to look at the positive part of what I do. I don't look for credit myself. I just be what I'm involved in. I just like for it to be a success. I tell kids that all the time, because I guess Joe can tell you that even as far as DECA was concerned, I took kids all over this nation to compete, and I didn't claim the glory when they won. I put my kids out, let people see them, they're done. Where you have had some people and instructors, they claim the glory and they are known for this and that, but I let people know that my kids won this. And that's what I look at. I don't look for the glory myself. I just love to do it and be involved in it, and whatever comes, but then I just like to.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
Information for?
Inspiration.
Inspiration? I don't know. I just wonder. Probably Howard for one thing.
We all got a little bit from him.
You should. He was one of them. And then, like you said, my granddad and I guess my family as a whole kind of been involved. And I never mentioned my granddad on my mother's side. He was quite involved.
Tell me about
He was known all throughout the community as well.
And what was his name?
George Flanagan.
Flanagan.
He served as superintendent of the church up there for a number of years. And
Mount Pleasant?
Mount Pleasant, And the church doors didn't open unless he was there. And he was just the type of person that was known throughout the community. And
where did he live?
He lived right there on the corner of Hawthorne and Old West Broad Street, facing the church. Walk out the door and look up to the church. Right there at the light.
Is the house still there?
The one that he stayed in burned down, and they built another one there.
Because there's right on the
corner.
There's a house there that's some Strauss used to live in. I don't know whether you. I think. Lays, maybe.
Lays, man. Right. That was my grandmama, my granddad stayed, and the Lays were Susie B. Lay that stayed there, and Ginger Lay, and Brock Lay, Tom Lay.
And then there was a house next door. That's where it's a vacant lot, I believe now.
It is. That was where Hattie Hunter and Mandy Davenport lived, and that was the mother and daughter, and they just. I mean, it was just a community thing, just like I said, all down through, even where the car lot. Winter Reese lived there and this kind of thing. Ed Bazell lived on the corner. I'm sure you heard of Ed Bazell. And
so he used to, I didn't know that. I knew him. I remember him when I came to Athens. He was still living. So he lived right there on Hawthorne.
He lived right there on the other corner. If you walk out the door of the house that we were speaking of on the corner there, and look across the street, his house is over that old house. That's where the Scotts live now.
Oh, that was Mr.
That's
Basil
where
house?
Basil lived right
I didn't
there.
know that.
And had a
Wow.
had a
The
wood
Scott-
yard.
Okay,
right there. People-
okay.
Most people this day in town don't know what a wood yard is.
Uh-huh.
But he had slabs and he would cut wood and he would sell wood there.
Wow, nobody,
And-
I never heard that before.
and
That he
then-
lived in that house. That
Right,
was
then
Mr.
after
Basil.
that, he moved down the street there where Julius Drive.
Okay.
All that property down there. One time it had cotton fields down
Right,
there.
okay,
Okay, he moved this wood yard down there.
okay,
And eventually he sold the land in lots.
okay.
He bought and built a house.
Right,
And he moved over on the corner of Rock Spring.
That's
and
where I
Broad
kind of
Street.
knew it from. Yeah. Okay,
Right, that's where he lived.
Right, but I didn't know that the
One-
Scott's house
Right.
was his original home.
One of the richest black men in that.
Right, I remember. That's what
He
they
was.
told me. He was back then. They said he was the only black millionaire. He had a lot of real estate, a lot
Yeah,
of
a lot of
property.
real estate,
You're
a lot of
right.
real
Yeah,
estate.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
I just want to say thank you for having me and hope that what I've given you information that maybe to enlighten someone somewhere.
Right.
And they would see what history was really like. Like I say, it's just so much you could have gotten into the area and this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Baxter Street, which wasn't there at the time, the Alps Shopping Center, which
So
was the
Baxter-
airport, and Beechwood, which wasn't there, it was trees and et cetera. So
Okay.
it's just a lot of things for us, the history of this area.
Uh-huh.
And
So the airport was where
well, Alps Shopping Center.
was the shopping center,
hmm
and Baxter Street didn't exist
No.
on that end.
Baxter Street come to just a little bit down below Rock Spring.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and then from that it was just empty land.
It was land out there.
Mhm.
Okay.
And this street up here, Alps Road, where it run to West Lake,
Mhm.
it wasn't joined together either at that
Okay,
time.
okay.
So it just ended right up there somewhere.
Mhm. And somewhere in the 60s, they built public housing in between Brooklyn, didn't they?
Right, it sure
Because they
did.
kind of
Mhm.
separated the
Right.
street that you live on, that side, from the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
So I get, was there a lot of houses between there? And
No, it wasn't. It was
mostly
mostly Red Hills and wooded
Okay,
area
okay.
and that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
They took that and developed it into the Apollo community
Right.
at the time.
Okay, all right. Well, we thank you and
Well-
for the work that you do, and I agree with you. You know, history is so important.
It is. It's
and
beautiful.
any piece that we can capture
Mhm.
for future generations
All right.
is, you know, is something that I feel like is well done, because
is.
we lost so much.
We
You know,
have.
we can.
We have.
You know, it's almost like we can't recapture everything, but we need to try to capture all that we can.
Well, that's one thing I tell them even at the reunion, that we can't keep everything. We didn't keep everything. They took a lot from us, but they can't take in our head
Right.
what we have there.
Mhm.
You can remember that and you can go back and you can continue to do things in memory of that.
Right.
So it's just been great, Mr. Smith. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.